Our names are Sam and Will, the sea gatherers of Tasmania. We're about to go on an unforgettable trip from Northwest Bay to Port Arthur. But to get to Port Arthur, we have to first cross Storm Bay and then the notorious Cape Raoul. Once we've arrived at Port Arthur, we can start our adventure and go fishing, diving and exploring, just like the early settlers did.
For the first part of the trip, we have to sail from Northwest Bay to Port Arthur. Sam's dad owns a 38-foot Bavaria which we'll be using for the journey. The journey itself is about 30 nautical miles and should take us about 8 hours.
We have just completed our journey from Northwest Bay to Port Arthur. Unfortunately, it was too rough to film, but I'm just going to have to tell you about it. The weather was looking good coming out of Storm Bay, so we made the decision to pass White Beach and go straight to Port Arthur. But then, as we came around Cape Raoul, we were hit by a storm. My friend Will was feeling seasick, so he decided to curl up on the floor on the cockpit with me, while my dad Scott was at the helm. The waves then started to build and were crashing over the deck and on top of us. The wind also picked up to 30 knots, and then a breaking wave filled the dinghy, causing it to capsize and break loose from the yacht. But as we came into Port Arthur, the wind died down and turned into nothing. Once we pulled into Mason Cove, we decided to tie up to the local jetty, which supplies us with power and water. Then we cooked up some nice octopus and fried rice for dinner. This is us tying up to the jetty. As you can see, we need a bit of practice.